I'm Savanna from Aurora Middle School, and today we are going to be doing hands-on equations using cubes and pawns. So to start off with, we have a blue pawn, and that equals x. We also have a white pawn, and that equals the opposite of x. And together, they can make a pair of 0, and they can cancel each other out. We also have a green cube, and that is a negative number, and a red cube, which is a positive number. And if you have two of the same number from each one, they can make a pair of 0 and they can cancel each other out.
My first equation is 3x plus 10 equals 5x plus 2. So to start off, I'm just going to tell you about some moves we can make. You can either take away the same thing from each side, or you can add in the same thing on each side. You can't just take away one different thing from each side. So that being said, we'll start off by taking 3 blue pawns from each side. And since that doesn't disrupt the scale if we take away 3 pawns from each side, it is technically a legal move. So now, I want this x and these 10 to be alone. So we want to take away this 2. And to do that, we can make a pair of 0 by adding negative 2 to each side. So this makes a pair of 0. And so we can take that out. And this is no longer 10, but 10 minus 2 equals 8. So we have 8 equals 2x. But we just want that x by itself, so what we can do is divide them each by 2. So 2x divided by 2 is 1x, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So x equals 4. Our next equation is negative 10 plus x is equal to negative 3x plus 2. So this is our equation laid out, and we can't do anything right now, so we're going to start by adding 3 blue pawns, which each represent x to each side. So now, these each form pairs of 0, so we can take away 1 pair of 0, 2 pair of 0, and a third pair of 0. And so now, I want to get rid of this, so it's just x and 2. So I'm going to add positive 10 to each side. And since these are the same numbers, and one's negative and one's positive, they are a pair of 0 and they can cancel each other out. And so now we have that 4x equals 12. But we want to get it down to 1x, so we can divide each side by 4. So 4x divided by 4 is 1x, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So we have that x equals 3. Our next equation is 5 plus x plus negative 3x equals 3x plus negative 2x plus negative 1. So we have this set up, and there's some legal moves that we can do without adding. One of them is we can take 3 whites away from each side. So using both hands, we'll take 3 whites from each side. And since that doesn't disrupt the scale is still even. So now we also have 1 blue pawn and 3 blue pawns, so we can take 1 from each side using 2 hands, and it's still even. And now I want to get rid of this to leave the pawns and the cube by itself. So I'm going to add positive 1 to each side. That way we can make this into a pair of 0. So negative 1 plus positive 1 is equal 0, so it's a pair of 0. So we can take that out. And this, 5 plus 1, becomes 6. So we have that 6 equals 2x. But now we want to divide each side by 2. So we can do 2x divided by 2 is 1x, or just x. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we have x equals 3.
Thanks for watching.
There's a hole in the ceiling. Dun, dun, dun.
There's a hole in the ceiling. Dun, dun, dun. Ninja.